I'm 77 years old. The most terrifying sound I've ever heard wasn't a crash or a scream, but the absolute silence of my husband David trying to call my name the day he had his stroke. He stood there in the kitchen holding a half-peeled orange, making a sound like a leaking pipe, unable to form a single word. We had spent 40 years saving every penny for a retirement that was supposed to be filled with travel and grandchildren. But because one tiny vessel in his brain gave up, our entire future was erased in a single Tuesday afternoon. David spent the next 5 years in a hospital bed in our living room, staring at the ceiling, not knowing who I was. I'm telling you this now because I learned too late that your blood vessels don't scream until they break. I spent decades thinking I was healthy because nothing hurt, but I was quietly thickening my blood and scarring my arteries with every convenient choice I made. My first and most urgent suggestion is this: break the sitting death with 20 minutes of movement after every meal. I spent 40 years as a legal secretary. I was proud of my desk. I thought my ability to sit there for 9 hours straight, perfectly filing papers, was a sign of my worth. I remember the 1990s when we thought being chained to the desk was the path to success. I didn't realize that every hour I spent perfectly still was a message to my veins to lose their elasticity. Now I have a non-negotiable rule. I walk for 20 minutes after every single meal. Movement isn't about fitness at this age. It's about mechanical flow. When you sit still after eating, your blood sugar spikes, and those sugar molecules act like tiny shards of glass, scratching and inflaming the delicate inner lining of your vessels. I look back at the thousands of evenings David and I collapsed onto the sofa after a heavy dinner, watching the news and letting our blood turn into stagnant sludge. We thought we were resting, but we were actually allowing our arteries to harden and collect plaque. If I had just pulled him off that sofa for a walk around the block back then, he might still be here to tell me he loves me. Don't wait for a stroke to teach you the value of a walk. Move your body while it still knows how to follow your commands. Second, you must sign a salt pact with your own heart. I grew up in an era where convenience was marketed as a miracle for the working woman. I remember the relief of opening a can of soup or a box of frozen Salisbury steak after a long day at the office. I fed David those hidden salts for decades because I was exhausted and they were easy. I didn't know that salt acts like a sponge in your blood, pulling in water and forcing your heart to pound against your artery walls with every beat. It's like trying to pump thick mud through a rusted, fragile pipe. Eventually, the pipe gives way. Today, my salt shaker is almost empty. I use lemon juice, fresh garlic and rosemary to flavor my food. I stop buying anything that comes in a crinkly plastic bag or a box with a shelf life longer than mine. If it doesn't rot in a week, it's not meant for a living body. Every time I spend 20 minutes chopping fresh greens instead of opening a can, I feel like I'm performing a small act of mercy on my own brain. Your blood should be a clean, rushing river, not a salty, stagnant brine. Stop clogging your life with the debris of a hurried industrial diet. Third, you must guard your blood against quiet pressure. I spent my entire career being a worrier. I thought my anxiety made me a better mother and a more careful employee. I stayed up late ruminating on bills, on the kids' grades, on the office politics. I didn't know that every spike of stress makes your blood sticky, more likely to clot and snag on the hidden plaques in your brain. Chronic stress is a chemical attack on your vascular walls. I had to learn the hard way that the world will keep spinning even if you aren't worrying about it. After David's stroke, I realized that all the things I had stressed about, the mortgage, the promotions, meant absolutely nothing compared to the ability to have a conversation with him. I spend time in my garden now, not for the vegetables, but to lower my own internal temperature. I practice the art of letting go. My blood pressure at 77 is lower than it was at 45, simply because I stopped inviting the world's chaos into my chest. You have to find a way to switch off the emergency signal in your brain. If you don't, you are slowly cooking your own vessels in a bath of stress hormones. Finally, you must learn to listen to the whispers before they turn into screams. David had small warnings for a year before the big one. There was the time his fingers went numb while he was reading the paper, and he blamed it on poor circulation from the cold. There was the afternoon he felt a bit dizzy and had to sit down, calling it rising too fast. There was the slight slur in his speech after a long day that we both dismissed as just being tired. We were arrogant. We thought we had more time. Those weren't just quirks of aging. They were the groans of a vessel about to burst. If you feel a sudden weakness, a strange tingling, a moment where the world seems to blur, don't wait and see. That wait is where the tragedy happens. Reclaim your right to be healthy now, because once a vessel pops, there is no negotiation. I spent 5 years watching a man who used to build furniture, unable to even hold a spoon. I washed him, I dressed him, and I watched the light fade from his eyes long before his heart stopped beating. That is the price of ignoring the whispers. I'm 77 now, and I walk these 20 minutes alone every evening as the sun goes down. It's a lonely walk, but I'm still here. My mind is clear, my speech is sharp, and I can still hold my own teacup. That is a mercy I no longer take for granted. I see people in the grocery store in their 50s, rushing, buying processed food, looking stressed, and I want to grab them and scream, "You are made of glass, not stone." Don't wait for the silence to start caring for your life. If this meant something to you, perhaps you could share one small way you're choosing to be kind to your body today. Maybe it's putting down the salt, or maybe it's taking that walk tonight. I'd like to think that somewhere a door is staying open because of these words.